What's going on, traders? Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Apologies for the no background music today. I can't seem to find things that don't give me some kind of copyright issue from YouTube. And with everybody getting banned, I am shaking in my boots. I do not want to be banned either. No, we're not really shaking in our boots, but I'm going to try to play nice and not have any background music at all. I'm not going to continue to test different stuff and continue to get the copyright stuff. So anyway, it's going to be kind of quiet. You're going to have to listen to me yap all day. Anyway, guys, if you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we hop onto the charts, as always, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading is very risky. Most traders do lose money. I am not a financial advisor. I do not provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. What is going on? What's up, Relaxing Zen? Good morning, Slothfather. Looking at NQ today. Edgeful stats are on it, running a little bit better than YM over the last month. Interesting. What's up? Good morning, everybody. Wolf, Chris, we're a little bit late to the jump today. 9:26. What's going on? Paul, Redbeard, Chart Prince, Jamie, what's up? Ruben, what's going on? A-Deal, what's up? NQ, Trend Sniper, good, man. Going good this morning. Electric Kate, what's going on, chat? Welcome to the show. Welcome, everybody, from YouTube, Kick, and X. And just while we're on this note, I'm going to come on over to a Tradovate platform today. Take a look at this. Or maybe even a Trading View platform today. We're going to talk about this in a minute. But before I even say anything, guys, real quick, I'm going to throw all this in the chat. I haven't had an issue with YouTube. YouTube's awesome. Love YouTube. Everybody else has had issues with YouTube. A lot of the big streamers and people in the trading space have started to have issues for some reason. If you don't see me on here, here is a list of all of the other platforms that I am on actively and streaming almost every day, along with the 100% free trading community. So hop in the Discord so you always know what's going on, and then follow on X, IG, Kick. I stream live on Kick. I'm streaming right now across X, YouTube, and Kick. If you guys want to check that out, there are the links just as a backup, right? I think it's important to be more proactive about that and say, yo, hey, just in case one of these platforms throws a curveball and says, we don't like you anymore, Zach. We ain't going anywhere, chat. We ain't going anywhere. But I'm throwing these in all of the chats right now so you got them. My X, my YouTube, my Kick, my IG. It's Real Deal Zach across everything. And then the 100% free trading Discord. Also, realdealfutures.com. I got the domain. We keep it 100 on here, guys. We ain't going nowhere no matter what. So I figured I'd be proactive about that because a lot of you guys, I think, just hop on the YouTube live stream. Make sure you're somewhere else. So if you don't see me for a day, I'm streaming somewhere else. Maybe you just have an issue with some kind of platform. So anyway, Real Deal Zach across those. realdealfutures.com. You can find me anywhere. Google me, as the kids say. Anyway, we are here today testing Tradovate and TradingView, right? I am in a Project X account, a Top 1 Futures Project X 15K live account. And I'm going to have to transition in the near future here over to Tradovate and TradingView. So what I have loaded up right here is 150K. Technically, this is an instant funded account. I'm not able to have multiple accounts. Nobody freak out and yell at me. Somebody already asked. No, you can't have another account if you have a live account. These are test accounts, demo accounts. I'm not going to be eligible to do anything with this account. It is for the purpose that I'm doing with you guys right here, right now. Starting to test, starting to make mistakes, starting to get comfortable, right? You could open up a practice account with Tradovate. You can get a practice account from Top 1 Futures. You can say, that's a waste of time, Zach. You shouldn't be doing any of that. You don't need to do that. But that's what we're looking at here. If you guys want to check it out, link is also at the top of the chat. We are live on Tradovate, Ninja Trader, and TradingView with Top 1 Futures. If you guys want to check that out, link is there. So here's what we got. Just a little bit of an overview. Chef Trades, what's up? Andrew, what's up? Sharpers doing okay. See what you guys are here. Daniel, what's going on? Welcome. A little bit of an overview. Let's talk markets first, what I'm genuinely looking at as we are opening up here right into 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Opening up, let's talk about yesterday first off. I won't go into too much detail looking at why I am here on the 15-minute. Did take a short. That did play out right into the close. Got out right here. Got short right in here. Maybe we review that trade in a little bit. I'll pull up Project X for this one. But we sold off right into the close. Really like right into the close. You're putting lows a day in. If we look at the daily chart, as you can see, my trading view chart looks extremely similar to my Project X chart. It's the exact same setup. Same. Try to keep it same color, same everything here. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. The only thing that I have on here that is technically different, VWAP, visible range volume profile, volume down on the bottom. Only thing that is technically different is this is session volume profile HD, SVP. It's just automatically plotting what I plot manually, which is the fixed range volume profile, this bad boy right here, right? So it's an indicator that you can use on TradingView. You can't use it on Project X. So just saves me from having to draw it. Anyway, looking at the 15-minute chart, let's go back to the daily real quick. Overall, pretty damn bullish. And again, this is how I'm going to start my analysis because I'm comfortable on a TradingView chart. So overall, pretty damn bullish, right? Higher time frames. We did put some gnarly lows in here. Opening up after a bearish close yesterday, breaking down below the Friday's low, opening up to the upside, right? We've already swept this in pre-market. You can see by this daily candle here. We've already swept yesterday's low in pre-market. We came down below that candle low here, and we're popping to the upside, right? Overall, kind of choppy. We just kind of settled down around here, drifted lower. London opened up bullish. So far, we've maintained that bullish price action here off of the open. Opening up to the upside. We got a pretty tight range. Opening up fairly balanced here near prior day's volume point of control, although it's still untested. We haven't tapped that just yet. Pretty balanced, right? I think we got a good chance to continue this move to the upside, just looking at how this is starting to form. I wouldn't mind a short, kind of similar to yesterday if we were going to get some continuation, but we've kind of got the opposite, right? We didn't sell off really super aggressively in the overnight session. We drifted a little bit lower, and now we've got some bullish action pushing to the upside. So overall, not a crazy setup coming right off the bat for me. Nothing that's screaming at me like yesterday where I'm like, I want to get short, right above this high. Nothing crazy. I could see us starting to push higher. We didn't really come up and break Friday's high in yesterday's price action. If we start to push to the upside outside of this area of high volume, I could see a continuation up here that we came and tested yesterday, and then maybe a push higher. I could easily see us continuing to the downside. I could see us turning to the downside. Even right now, this might be all we have to do, right? Like sweep pre-market highs right after the open, and then turn this bad boy to the downside. If we start to flip this candle bearish, right, and we start to push lows of the session, we definitely have some room to go. Like, we definitely have some serious room to go. I'm going to zoom out and let this reset, and then we'll talk about Trade-Evate. We'll talk about TradingView that I'm on right here. We'll place some test trades. I'm definitely going to throw some trades on with you guys. Again, this is not going to be an account that I'm taking payout from. I always try to be really clear. I never attempt to misrepresent, and I never want to. That I'm trading an account that I stand to make money from. This is as good as a demo account. Yeah, right back to VWAP. If we start to push to the downside, guys, we hit that 325 that I wanted easily yesterday, right into the close. We hit that 325. We start to get down below this area of high volume that I think would be the first stop. We got some room to go. I don't know that we just come like right in here and turn. I think we could really start to melt. I think we could really start to have a down day and put a really gnarly bearish bar in here. So if we start to turn to the downside, I could see a continuation short. Really aggressive shorts in here. Really aggressive shorts like right in here wouldn't be bad. Like right off of the open would have provided an opportunity, but no sweep of prior day high, no sweep of Friday's high, last week's high. I'm not looking to get stupid aggressive short the way that I was yesterday. I could see a continuation through VWAP, maybe a continuation to the downside, but buys on this, if we start to sell off, I don't think I want to try to catch this, guys. Right down in here, we could turn on a dime from right down in here. This wouldn't be a bad spot to try something. And for the sake of just testing on this account, and kind of looking what it looks like across TradingView and Tradeovate, I will. I'll take a buy in here. I'll take a sell up here. If I had to take something, that's probably what I'll take. But that's going to be the game plan for today. Again, we are here on Tradeovate and TradingView, logged in through Top 1 Futures. This is the same account, as you can see, this account number right here that is displayed right here, right, on Tradeovate. Now, you don't have to run both of them side by side, but for the purposes of making some examples here and just showing the stuff, I'm going to run them side by side for us to take a look at together. This is the platform, what it looks like right when you log into Tradeovate. I'm not the Tradeovate expert. I'll be honest with you guys. I just don't have an enormous amount of experience on Tradeovate. It is a very different looking platform, different looking chart. There's some really cool stuff, which I'm going to talk about, like the automated trade management stuff, which we can test together. I can throw on and test together in here. But I'm going to show you guys, what this looks like to trade from a TradingView chart, which is probably what I'm going to do right off the bat once I get kicked over, because I will, like anybody else, get kicked over in my live account eventually to Tradeovate. So I'd come in here, log in, and then I would be able to trade right from a TradingView chart. You got some pretty cool features that we'll look at here. Got some pretty cool features which we'll look at in here, like the ability to display your take profit and stop loss before you even enter with a limit order. That type of stuff is pretty cool here on TradingView. We'll look at this stuff together. You can see how it shifts dynamically based on which one you enter first. If you enter ask, or if you enter like ask -5, it kind of pins it. We'll go through. I'll show you some tips and tricks, some stuff that I like and don't like about both of these. And then we'll take some test trades. That's my game plan for today. Took the W yesterday on the Project X live account with you guys. The same trade that I took live with you. I did take a win on that. We got a... Do I have a screenshot from it? Whoa. Sorry, guys. We didn't go anywhere. We got a screenshot from... I think we got a screenshot from yesterday, but it's in Discord. If it's not in there, it's in Discord. Anyway, let's take a look at this market. Let's take some test trades. Let's get comfortable on TradingView and Tradeovate here with Project X. I would recommend that you guys do something similar, right? No recommendations, no suggestions, no financial advice. I'd recommend you guys do something similar if you're getting ready to get swapped over, if you're opening up a new account. I would test on demo. I'd test on an account you don't care about. I would buy your first account and say, I'm probably going to lose this, so I'm just going to go ahead and, have some fun, get comfortable with placing orders, with moving stop loss and take profit around. What does it look like when things get filled? How can I track this stuff? But try to get comfortable, right? It's a new platform. It is something different, even if you're coming straight over. So definitely take note of that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, guys. JB, what's up? Chart Prince, what's happening? What's happening? Caleb, what's up? My Cuisine, good morning. Good morning. You guys know your crazy names. What's up on Kick? What's up on X? What's up, everybody? Jess, good morning. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show. So yeah, if I got to take a long, it's going to be somewhere down in here. If I got to take a short, it'll be somewhere up in here, but I'll probably take some test trades before and after that. So let's kind of talk about that, right? Let's talk about that. So we're logged in here with this Tradeovate account, right? Top 1 Futures, 150K, instant. Again, test account for me. I'm not going to be eligible to do anything with this. I'm in a live account with Top 1. So not going to be worth anything. But a couple different things that I like about TradingView, right? One piece that I do like is this order card over here. Now you can run a DOM, right? You can show the DOM. I don't have level 2 data showing on this at all. But there's a pretty sweet order card. It's a little bit nicer than Project X. There's some differences, but one thing that I really do like is what I was just showing you guys, right? So you can place orders multiple different ways on TradingView, same way that you can on Project X, right? You can right-click on the chart and do things like that. But the order card's pretty sweet for one specific reason, and it's what I was just showing, right? So if you guys have been watching, I'm typically trading 1 mini here on YM. I can enter with my 1 mini and a custom bracket that I'm able to set based on risk, based on tick size, based on where I'm actually starting that limit order, right? You can see I could actually just physically drag these around right on the chart to say I want to buy one. I know I want to keep about $1,000 stop loss. You can use, the actual just tick right in here. I think you can actually go, you can go dollar amount, percent, which is pretty cool. Really, really nice custom order card in here. Even down on the bottom, it does a calculation for you. So if you are increasing the amount of contracts that you're going to trade, it gives you the tick value, it gives you a percent, and it gives you the dollar amount that you're looking to risk and reward all the way down on the bottom, even though it also displays it on here for most of that stuff. Pretty cool. I like it. I think it's really simple. Maybe, you're like me and you're entering pretty much with a market order. You can still do this, right? It just doesn't display. So, kind of like what I'm doing on Project X would be something like this right here, right? Where I'm going to mark it into a buy or sell at my discretion as I see fit. And this would enter with the take profit and stop loss. And again, one more time, guys, I'm going to take a bunch of test trades on this account. These are not going to be, serious live trades. I want to be able to display some of this stuff to you guys. I do want to get comfortable myself on it. And, this is what I wouldn't mind spending my time doing. Plus my live account's paused pending a payout from yesterday that I requested. So I'm not trading in the Top 1 Futures live account with you guys. So, but important to note, 47,000 times over. So pretty cool stuff you can do. Can we get to an ask -2? I like this feature as well. I like being able to join bid and join ask on Project X. I also like being able to enter with limit orders off of where we're trading. I do find that TradingView is a little bit laggy. The way the candles print, the price that's showing, it is lagging whether you pay for it or not, by very little bit. But there's definitely some benefits. So things like this, you can enter with different orders, right? Stop orders, stop limit orders. You can customize a whole bunch of different stuff. You could do your favorite market order. Limit orders like we were looking at is pretty sweet. Over here on TradingView, on Trade08, there are so many different features. There's so many different advanced features on Trade08, which I think, if you want to spend the time to learn, which I probably should, you want to get comfortable with their chart. You want to get comfortable charting right on this platform. It's pretty damn sweet. But I'll show you one that's definitely not available on Project X. It's not available trading through TradingView, but it's their automated trade management. They have really, really advanced and customizable, maybe not advanced, but customizable and flexible automated trade management. And just so we know what we're talking about here, automated trade management, meaning exactly what it sounds like. After I put a trade on, I want automated things to happen. If we move into profit, if we move into drawdown, I want stops to be adjusted. I want to take profit at multiple levels. I want to scale in, scale out. Technically, I don't know if you could scale into more orders. Well, you can with limit orders. Yeah, with more automated trade management. Yeah, you can. But you could scale in, scale out. One thing that I think is really cool on here that I like is an auto break even or an auto break even plus an auto trail. But there's pretty cool trade management things like you could do, for example, with an auto break even. And we can test some of this for a second, but I'm just going to explain it. For example, with an auto break even, what I've liked to do in the past, and I've taken this from other traders that have this trade management style, is an auto break even plus an offset. So if price moves, let's say we have a take profit and a stop loss of 100 points on YM, right? You might say, if price moves 50 points in profit, I want to go break even, right? And you can automate that here on Trade08. You can't do that on Project X on TradingView, right? There's no auto break even. There's different trailing stop losses, but there's not an automatic break even at a specific trigger point. Here on Trade08, you can also go break even plus an offset, right? So maybe you say, I want to lock in 25 points of profit at 75 points. So as price moves 75 points in profit toward my 100-point take profit level, if we hit that 70 points in profit, I want a stop order to be moved, not just to break even, but 25 points into profit. You can do that here by setting a break even trigger plus an offset, right? So things like this are really cool. Again, this is just one example of a number of different automated trade management features that you can use in Tradeovate, and one of many of the more advanced features that you can do in Tradeovate here. Again, I'm not the Tradeovate expert, but there's a couple things in here that enticed me back in the day where I was like, that's pretty sweet. I like that. You might really like the way the candles print. I do find them to be like very, very, very fast moving. Kind of the opposite of what we see on TradingView and even Project X, where it's a little bit slower moving. It's a little bit laggier. We can watch this candle print together, and I can even run the YM DOM here on the left-hand side. And if price moves fast enough, you'll actually see a discrepancy like we are seeing right now in between the price that's showing here on TradingView. You don't usually see that on Tradeovate. You're actually going to see the price really match well with this rhythmic data over here from Bookmap. So just some different pieces. I think personally, and I know I'm yapping here, guys, as the market's opening up, trading right around VWAP. I could tell you personally, I'm going to come right over to TradingView. Once I get kicked over with a Tradeovate live account with Top 1, I'm going to come right over to TradingView. I'm going to log in the way that I am right here, and I'm going to trade straight from a TradingView chart for a couple of reasons. Number one, for charting and for actually, just visual display purposes, this is as close as it's going to be to Project X. Project X is an integrated TradingView chart. This here is the TradingView chart, right? Same colors, same tools that I use. Very, very slight differences. Like I should probably change the color of this and, maybe adjust this out a little bit to be a little bit less granular, but extremely similar, right? If I come over here, this looks and feels very different. I don't have my indicators on this chart, right? It's not set up the same. Honestly, I haven't done anything to it. But even the way the candlesticks are going to print, the way this is going to display and look and feel to me is going to be different. And trading's the same, right? Your strategy, your approach, your risk management, everything should be the same. But if you're applying discretion in your trading decisions and your trade management, which I am to a pretty high degree, right? I mean, a decent amount. I want it to look the same. And if I change the cockpit of this race car, it's going to affect me, probably negatively. It's going to be a learning curve, right? So I'm going to try to minimize that. And I think this is going to be relevant whether you're trading, or if you're trading on any prop firm outside of Top Step. You're all going to be faced with this change if you are trading on Project X, which I've seen almost every prop firm trader trading on Project X. So I think this stuff is relevant to talk about, important to talk about as we're coming into this change getting started, right? So that's my thoughts. Let's test out some orders here, though, guys. Let's test out some orders. Let's see. You guys are chatting. Morning Trader Crew. Probably let's see how it goes. Hopefully I get a good short today. I do this all the time, but it always tells me you can't do it with group trades, even in the same prop. What are we? Meatball subs 6427. What are we talking about? Let me know what we're talking about. I'll try to answer. Again, I'm not. I always try to be like transparent and talk about it. I don't have Tradeovate tutorials. I'm going to start making some really basic stuff, but I'm not the Tradeovate expert. I'm really not. I just haven't spent a ton of time on the platform the way I have with Project X and even TradingView itself. So, I'm cautious of what I'm going to try to answer because I'm just not the expert. I like the platform. I think it is very reliable. I think it's very advanced, very intuitive. I think if I was born and raised trading on Tradeovate, I'd love it. I'd like it more than everything else. But I haven't been. So been born and raised on a TradingView chart. So, here I am on TradingView. The ATM setups with trailing stops. So you're saying you can't do it with group trades even in the same prop. So you mean you can't use, because this is going to be new and I'll test it with you guys. You can't use automated trade management with Tradeovate if you are copy trading across prop accounts, or you just can't use it at all. You can't use it with a prop firm account, because I'm going to test that either way. And again, I know we're yapping about different platforms. We're yapping about different test stuff. Honestly, guys, if I'm in my live account trading, this is no trade for me just yet. I think there's a short opportunity if we're going to come through this low. If we're going to flip this bearish, there's a continuation short. And if I throw a test trade on, that might be what I'm taking. If we were going to come lower, where do I think we're going to stop? Zooming out on the 15-minute chart, Where is another area of interest? Down below this area right here. Like this would definitely be area number 1. Multiple volume points of control. I'd say if we sell off, that's going to be area number 1. Area number 2 to the downside, just so I don't lose too much track, would be right down here, right? Volume point of control from the 25th, little bit of an area of high volume. You know, we've got a couple tests of levels back here if I really want to try to make a case for this. We got some lows before some impulsive moves. It's been sliced through quite a bit, so this isn't like a super duper strong low down here. But if we start to sell off, these would be the 2 areas I'd be looking to potentially find some buyers. We get below that, you know, nightmare fuel for the bulls would be down here, way down. Now that's a very large move that would be really exceeding average ranges, but you know it's not completely out of the question if we really started to sell off. To the upside, this level right here, right, prior day's volume point of control right above this high. You know, that's what I'd be looking at. So actually, you know what? We can leave these on. We can leave these on today because I'm going to be back and forth playing with 47 different things. And, you know, we'll kind of just see what my levels look like today. A couple discretionary zones, areas of interest, no magic, primarily coming off of areas of high volume on different volume profiles and price action market structure. Nothing magic. Nothing magic there. One prop, yes, but not with multiple accounts to the same prop. Meatball sub. We'll figure that out. I'll test it. Can you show the volume indicator that you're using? Yeah, these are there's 2 different volume indicators on here. This one over here is visible range volume profile, VRVP. These are the settings if you want to run it exactly the same. I think I usually run like 200 in here, but it really just is the way that it's displayed view-wise. It's not a calculation thing so much as it's just a preference. This is visible range volume profile or volume profile visible range, depending on what platform you're on. And this is session volume profile. Oh, it's not even session volume profile HD. Session volume profile, standard settings. Again, the only thing that's different on this chart than my Project X chart is instead of having this indicator, which we don't have on Project X, I was physically, and you can see how I would do it here, physically drawing, right, from here to here. Oh, no. Excuse me, hang on. Prior day, right? Physically drawing from session changeover all the way through to the close of the session, which would be for me right here, right? And as you can see, that overlays really closely. It should be almost exactly the same. Technically, I'm on the 15-minute chart, and I'm not capturing the exact same price action that session volume profile is. But that's what this is, right? So if you're on another chart, you could use a drawing tool. It's the same thing. That I would just use the indicator, makes it easier. I actually don't like how it overlays on the current one that's printing. And it's another reason maybe to use the fixed range volume profile, but just for being completely lazy, so I don't have to mark my chart at all, which I really like to keep things stupidly simple and not have a bunch of markings on my chart. We can do that. We can do that here. I actually also don't mind this little display right here, which shows NYSE session being right here, and then Asia London, but I might change that. It's kind of a little bit too much overlaying with that like dark navy blue. But that's what I got on here. Volume profile, visible range, either session volume profile or fixed range volume profile, depending on what platform I'm on. Traditional volume down here on the bottom, and then VWAP. It's a standard VWAP line with just the color change to white. Hope that helps. Glenn B, which TradingView subscription do you have? I have premium. I have the premium TradingView subscription. You don't need a paid TradingView subscription to trade, but it does limit you, right? The free plan doesn't give you a lot of alerts, doesn't give you a lot of indicators, doesn't give you a lot of backtesting data. You can't put a bunch of charts in one screen if you want to watch multiple time frames and different instruments. They limit you quite a bit. So if you're halfway serious about trading, I think, and you're using TradingView, I think the paid version, it's kind of just unfortunately a requirement. I've had the paid version for years, and I really don't even use TradingView that much. I'm going to more now. I mostly liked it for alerts, But I'm going to more now, right? Now that we're all coming off of Trade-O-Vate. Off of Project X. Tongue twister, man. I'm gonna try to get these names right. So anyway, let's go ahead and play. Let's go ahead and play around with some orders on this, guys. I'll show you kind of exactly what my trading is gonna look like because I'm gonna trade on here with you guys today. Because yeah, my live account's still paused. Let's see, chatty chat. Let's see. Checking a couple of things over here on the right-hand side. Yeah, TradingView is still going, guys. I think their 80% deal is still going. I don't know if it ended. If you want to support your boy, that link at the top, actually I'll just throw it in chat. Hang on. I got a link for TradingView as well. TradingView is pretty sweet. I actually just head to the site. I don't even whatever. I'm not going to try to find the link. Here's how much I care about that. Head to the site, check it out. I think they got the 80% deal. It's just given to you right on the site. It's pretty sweet. 80% off plus 1 month free. I think I got like 70 or 80% off of premium. And what's pretty cool about TradingView is they allow you to like stack the subscription. So even if you have it right now, you can buy another year, get the month free, get the discount, and then it just adds on. So you have like 600 days of the paid subscription. So yeah, I think that's still running. That is still running. So let's go ahead and run this, man. So let's say we wanted to mark it into a buy, right? And again, pretty cool thing you could do here. Coming over to the right-hand side, the order card. You could also hit trade down here to get this to pull up. You could hit buy up here. Order card. Order card is really, really sweet and really, really nice to be able to use this to see where your limit order and take profit order would go, right? So if you guys know, this is pretty much the bracket that I'm entering with, a 200 tick, 200 point stop and take profit with one mini here on YM. And then I go and adjust from there, right? I go and drag them out. Technically, I wouldn't have to do that. I could just do it ahead of time if I wanted to, and then enter with a limit order. You could enter right at ask -1 might make sense, right? A tick below where price is trading because TradingView is just so damn laggy. Or a couple on YM where, a point is 1 tick. And then you could drag out your take profit and stop loss, right? So for example, maybe you're like, I want to run this bad boy long. I think we're headed to the upside. I think we're going to break this high, which it kind of looks like we want to do. We could enter with a limit order like right below price. We could throw a take profit way out here. We could run no take profit the way I typically run no take profit. And we can, adjust from there. So you can also enter with a market, a stop order, 47 different things. So let's throw one on for fun. Let's go 200 point, 200 point take profit. 300 point take profit, 200 point stop loss. Let's go with a market. Let's go with a market because I don't really want to limit into anything. I'll show you guys that this pops up after anyway, just so we can take a look.
Order filled.
There you go. In with one mini here on YM, and you can see the automated take profit and stop losses. And stop losses are set with the order. You can go ahead and drag these around the same way that you do with Project X. One thing I will note is you do have to hit confirm. You do have to hit confirm. You're not just able to just drag it around completely. Another important note on here, something I think is kind of key. TradingView, as far as I remember, does not automatically group your take profit and stop loss orders together, right? So on Project X, this is important to note, on Project X, if you enter with one mini, the way that I just did, and you throw a stop loss and a take profit in, if you then mark it in with another mini buy and you increase your position size from 1 to 2, your take profit and stop loss automatically get adjusted, right? So if you watch what I just did here, which was to enter market with a stop loss and take profit, if I add another one, and I'm going to test this out because I'm honestly not 100% sure, but I believe if I add another one here without adding new take profit and stop loss orders, because it is a custom bracket with each order, that these won't increase. I'm actually curious to see. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it in with another one.
Order filled.
See, they didn't. They didn't, right? So this is kind of something really important, because this can get really dangerous if you're coming off of Project X. I now am in the market long 2YM with no stop loss on the second or take profit on the second. So what would happen if we came down and got taken out right down here with this original stop loss? It would only close half the position, right? It would physically only close half the position. So important to note that when you're entering additional orders, if you're scaling in, scaling out, make sure you're looking to adjust and add new take profits, right, and new stop loss levels. What else can we play with on here? I think if I get rid of these, I gotta test something else, because I think if I get rid of these, like if I entered with no take profit and stop loss orders, I think I'm actually able to drag out the same way that you can from Project X. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of these. No, I can't. I can't drag out from. I can't drag directly out from the position here. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. Going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Close it out. Nice. We're in profit on the day. Yay. Again, guys, test account. We're playing around and kind of just testing this thing together. If I entered with more than one, it would automatically give me, take profit and stop loss. But here's what I want to see.
Order filled.
If I buy one, no take profit and stop loss, no, it doesn't let me do it. It doesn't let me do that. So it depends, I guess, on the broker, because I've logged in with other brokers that allow you to drag out stop loss and take profit physically from the screen right here to set a take profit and stop loss. So, it's interesting. I think the easiest way to do it, if you don't want to come in here and actually set, for example, like a limit sell order, which would act as a take profit, right? You can do it this way, the way that I just did. You can enter the exact number that you want in here. Maybe you want the 46,600s as your take profit. If you don't want to do that at all, you could also right click. And I think that's an easy way to do it, right? You come right up here, you say, I want the 47,600s, and I'm going to sell, limit one right at that level. You go ahead and hit confirm. No take profit, no stop loss, because technically this is a take profit order. I hope this is helpful, guys, because this stuff is important. Now, important note: if I sell limit up here and I place a stop down here, right? These are not connected. These are not connected, right? So what does that mean? Let's actually demonstrate this. This is a take profit order, right? And this is my my stop loss order, right? If I get filled and taken out in profit on this sell limit, which I'm going to do on purpose, I'm going to drag it really close so hopefully it gets triggered. This might not go away. I don't think it is, because they're not connected in a bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and put this sell limit right here. Maybe I'll just give it a second. So if this gets triggered, it should close out the position. Okay, see where we closed out the position in profit. We just made $60. But take a look at what's still sitting down here. This is still a sell stop order with no associated take profit or stop loss. So a fatal error you can make is not entering with a bracket, right? Not entering with a corresponding take profit and stop loss order, where if one, it's an OCO, one cancels the other. If one gets triggered and the other one automatically gets closed out and deleted. If you do what I just did here by maybe entering with nothing and then manually adding limit and stop orders, if one gets hit, the other one is still live in the market until you come over here and close it. So you step away from your screen, your take profit gets hit, yay, market reverses, you're entered into a sell with no, with no take profit or stop loss. So, important to note that. Important to note these types of things as you're coming over to Tradeovate TradingView. This is pretty much standard across platforms, but majority of what we were doing on Project X was dragging out from the position And what that was doing was creating an OCO bracket order. One cancels the other, right? It's called different things, but that's the way that I've learned it. So important to note that. Important to note that. Now, I'll display how this works real quick. When you use the RR tool, you can create, yeah. So I'll display like how to, create your OCO order, right? Here's your OCO order. We're going to go sell limit right in here. And let's just make something really tight where hopefully one gets triggered. Actually, you know what? Let's just do a market, right? And then we'll go like 20 tick stop loss, 20 tick take profit, right? Boom. Okay, we're into a sell, right? Short one with a 20 tick take profit, 20 tick stop loss. When one of these gets hit, because it's entered as a bracket, the other should cancel. I'm testing live with you guys, so I'm saying should. The other should cancel. We shouldn't, if we get stopped out on this, which it looks like we're going to. If we get stopped out on this, that buy stop is triggered. The buy limit should also be taken out because these should be OCO bracket orders. So we'll watch it play out in real time. Same thing on Tradeovate, right? If you're entering with a bracket, but you're able to enter with limit and stop orders all over the place on whatever platform you want. If they're not connected, right? If they're not connected in any kind of bracket, when one gets triggered, the other one doesn't get deleted. So we'll watch this play out. Obviously, I don't want to just close out or do anything because then the whole thing will be deleted. So let's see if we had to take profit or stop loss real quick on this, and then we'll watch if the other one gets canceled out, which I hope it does. Anyway, hope this helps, guys. Just some of the stuff that I personally like. I'm doing it live with you guys to display, but I personally want to confirm, and I think that if you're trading on any type of platform change, there we go. If we're trading on any type of platform change, any type of adjustments, anything, before you have risk on the line, maybe trading for, thousands of bucks in a live account, you probably want to load up a practice account, maybe an instant funded account, and test this stuff out. Make the mistakes, make the errors. So what we displayed there again was entering with a take profit and stop loss bracket on the order did what I hoped it would do, which is close out, right? So we had our take profit filled, limit order hit, that stop was closed out, right? You do have to be careful if you're manually entering after you enter the position with just separate, not attached stop loss orders or take profit limit orders, stop orders or limit orders in general. Important to note that for sure. So I hope some of this stuff is helping. Hope some of this stuff is helping. So let's see how this zone acts. Again, guys, if I was looking to short this market, if we were looking to hold on to something, I probably want to be short all the way up in here, which we can throw an order on, but I'm playing around with the orders, so I'm not super inclined to do anything too crazy. Questions, concerns, thought processes, feel free to ask. Can you show the volume indicator? What trade have you seen? We talked about that. I think I was only allowed 2 indicators. Yeah, with the free version. Black Friday sale still going on. Tradeovate. Zach, man, today is not the day. I am sad, man. Completely blew accounts. Mistake of doing copy trading. Sorry to hear that, man. Top of futures is a joke when it comes to 1 week still waiting for my payout. Haven't seen that, brother. Haven't seen anybody waiting over a week or even close to it from top 1 futures that hasn't had another type of option. So now that you've said that, I'm more than happy to investigate your situation. Do me a favor, hit me on Discord or shoot me personally an email at support@realdealfutures.com. Haven't seen a single person waiting more than 48 hours at this point. Obviously, stuff has gone back and forth in the past, but currently, I don't see anybody waiting at all like that. That sounds like you have something else going on. But I'm happy to review it myself. So if you want to share that with me, more than happy to try to get you some help as well. There's also, for me, payouts have been next day. I could speak personally, but also for my community, payouts have pretty much been, they were next day, like very quick, same day, but within 24 to 48 hours, I've seen everybody getting paid out. There is also a way to sell, ask, or buy bid, which is technically a limit order. Yeah, absolutely, which I really do like, right? So I was talking about this before. I like join bid and join ask. I don't like to have to pay, right? The spread by marketing in. You can limit in with a bid plus or minus ticks. So something that I like to do if I'm going to enter, like, if I want to enter close to like with a market order, like bid plus like 2 or 4 ticks on YM is pretty cool because you enter with a limit order and it's essentially the join bid or join ask, right? Join bid would be, selling just above that market, price that we're trading at, which there's typically a spread of like 2 points or something like that on, actually shows you right here. There's a spread of about 2 points. Yeah. On YM. So, easy way to do that. If you did like the join bid and join ask, again, one thing that I will say, which is a good display right now, I'll zoom in. TradingView is kind of slow, right? It's just a little bit delayed. It's a little bit laggy. And as you could see, if you go off of the order card, like bid +1, for example, price moves around and then this order is trying to like get to the right spot. And if you are in a fast moving market and you're too close, you can enter with a limit order. Like it's really not going to be bid +1. It's just going to be like, delayed a little bit and it's bid +1 based on whatever data it's getting. So I think on something like YM, it might be more appropriate, like, in this type of market, if you wanted to get a limit order set kind of just above where price is trading, maybe you create a little bit more of a gap by going a little bit more of a bid +6. Again, I have the paid version of TradingView, guys. I have the premium, right? I've logged in with different brokers. I've tested different data. I've paid for data, the $7 a month from TradingView itself. I've had the desktop app. I've done everything under the sun. I've talked to a bunch of different people on this. I can't figure out a way to make TradingView candles print faster. The Project X TradingView chart prints fast. It's the fastest TradingView chart I've seen. We are losing that. I have not figured out a way to get these candles to print faster. It's really not super important to me in my trading. It is a read of momentum that I'm losing a little bit, which I don't like. But I think if you were like really high frequency scalping on like the 30-second chart or the 1 minute chart, this could start to be like, unmanageable. Obviously, if that's your problem, the way a Tradeovate chart is going to be much faster, much more intuitive, as far as like the candles printing themselves. You could even see it on something like NQ, where price is just moving much faster. You could see how like quickly, these are even 15-minute candles. You can see how quickly these candles move back and forth as price is printing. You just don't get that on TradingView. I think it's just the nature of the way that data prints. There's a ever so slight but noticeable delay, and I don't love that. But, I'm happy to acknowledge it. And I think it can get a little bit dicey if you're moving around limit orders and you're attaching the limit order to price, something like bid plus or minus, or ask plus or minus, bid or ask plus or minus. So I think the problem is TradingView has millions of views. Yeah, I don't know that that's the problem. It's just on their end. It's something they do. TradingView is delayed. Yeah, and again, I'm not talking about not having real-time data with futures. I'm not talking about a 5 or 10 minute delay. I'm talking about a split-second delay in price printing, and it's noticeable. It's noticeable right here in my live session because you could look at rhythmic data from Bookmap on the left-hand side on YM, the same contract, and that's faster than the data that we're seeing print right here from, from TradingView, right? Logged in with a prop firm. And again, I've tried all these different things. I've tried all the different stuff. It's not my internet. It's not my platform. It's not the data. It's not the prop firm or the broker. It's just the way the platform prints. Again, not really a super huge problem. But I think if you're reading momentum and you're high frequency scalping, something like Bookmap, it could probably be a little bit more intuitive to use, or or just or even Tradeovate, right? Type of deal. That's the thought process. That's the thought process, guys. Anyway, yeah, man, I'm interested to see what we get with a potential sell in here. I could see a potential area of interest, right? So let's throw an order on, right? We talked about it. We've been testing some different stuff. Let's throw an order on. We'll use the bid +4, maybe just to try to get a good fill on this. And let's say this is my live account. I'll try to do something like really, really similar to what I was doing, which would be a take profit like all the way down here. We're looking for a huge, or actually no take profit, right? Because I'm typically not running a fixed take profit. And then I've been running like, something that's under $1,000 to get started with on a bracket order. We run a stop loss order up there. So let's go ahead and sell it. Bid +3. Let's see like what happens. Again, this is going to enter as a limit order, and it's filled. Right? So, you save yourself 3 points, 3 ticks, rather than just hitting the market button, right? On something like that. Now, something to note, right? Important. If I enter like this, which I typically do on Project X, if I want to add a take profit, I cannot add now a take profit just by throwing a limit order down here that's going to be attached to this stop loss order, right? I would be entering just a separate limit order. You could probably get rid of all of it and just create another bracket. Like you might be able to do that. But important to note. So, questions, concerns, right? As we're looking at this, you could actually see if we come over to Tradeovate, right? This is the same account. This is Tradeovate. This is the order running. I'm short 1 from 55.1. 47.551. I'm short 1 from 47.551. I've got a stop loss order in here, right? Buy stop. Yeah. Again, I like TradingView. I really do. I like Tradeovate as a whole. I think there's some pretty cool stuff in here. Oh, we can play with the automated trade management. I'll do that as well. We'll play with the automated trade management. I don't know if you mentioned before, but what are your thoughts on Tradeify? I'll save my opinion. I'll save my opinion on Tradeify. You guys do your research and make your own decisions. Why are you not trading today? I am here with you guys on Tradeovate and Tradeovate and TradingView because number one, I'd like to genuinely test it myself. I'm going to be kicked over to a TradingView Tradeovate account pretty soon from Top 1 Futures before I put thousands bucks worth of risk on the line in a live account that I care about. I'd like to test it. Right? So happy to do that with you guys here. I'd also like to display it, try to answer questions, show you guys the ins and outs of at least what I know. And along with that, I cannot physically trade my Top 1 Futures live account. I requested a payout too late last night, and it is still paused. So that hopefully that answers the question. Not trading any of the other half a dozen sim accounts that I have or the personal live account that I have. So spending some time trying to work out some kinks, get comfortable staring at a TradingView chart because this will be the Top 1 Futures live account pretty soon. Personally, I like Tradeify. They have no caps on payout per week, but pay day at the end of the week. Zach, you should chat with Wolf. He's the master at trading a troll account. Yeah. Yeah, we can have a lot of fun, guys, and YOLO the accounts, but that's not too helpful. Yeah, man, Tradeify, listen, I think there's a lot of other good options out there. Right? There's a lot of other good options. A lot of good instant funded options. There's a lot of good eval options. There's things that I like and don't like about other ones. You know who I'm partnered with, who I yap about the most. I've been partnered with Tradeify in the past. I've been partnered with others in the past. There's a reason that I'm not, right? But you guys do your own research and make your own decisions. I think that's the best way to go about it. Anyway, let's see what we got, man. We got the little watch list loaded up. We're short one YM in this trade of 8 top 1 futures trading view account. Taking a look at NQ pushing to the upside. Taking a look at ES pushing to the downside. Oh, excuse me, pushing to the upside as well. Sweeping some session highs in here. Not quite all the way up to prior day high yet, but looking pretty bullish on these, man. Looking really bullish on these. Nice pop in pre-market around the same time, and then took off from VWAP really aggressively. Really aggressively. But we'll see. We shall see. Morning all. What's up, Purple Ninja? Pretty cool ass Zach. Most people disparage foreign partnerships when they fall apart. Yeah, no, guys. I think, listen, man, I try not to do that. I try not to do that. First off, I don't think it's genuine unless you feel that way in an unbiased way, which you physically cannot. But I think there's great options out there. I think most affiliates won't say that. They will only ever talk positively about the firm that they're partnered and affiliated with, or the software that they're partnered and affiliate. They'll say it's the best. It's objectively the best for everybody. You should use it. Everything else sucks. And they'll give you 100 reasons why it's the best and 100 reasons why the other ones suck. If I think something sucks, and there's firms and software and different things out there that I do genuinely, that I have never been partnered with, and I've never traded myself because I could see it from a mile away, I'm happy to tell you whether I'm partnered or affiliated or not. I'm still biased. But if I think there's other good opportunities out there, which I do in the prop firm space, in the trading platform space, I'll tell you. I'll happily tell you whether I stand to lose money from my partner or affiliate or whoever I'm making money from doing so. I'm happy to do that. So, I also think it's kind of silly. It kind of doesn't make sense. It just doesn't compute to say that one single thing is the best when almost nothing is apples to apples in this trading space. And I can't possibly know all of the things that you think are important, right? Let's just use an example of a platform. You might say, Zach, I use automated trade management. I use an auto break even plus an offset. This is crucial to my strategy. This is part of how I trade. This is my edge in the market. If the platform doesn't have that, and a prop firm only offers a platform that doesn't have that, you will never think that that platform is the best, and you'll never think that that prop firm is the best. So why would I tell you what the best is? I don't know things that are important to you. We can go on and on with examples like that. So the do your own research, make your own decisions is a disclaimer, but it's also like the honest opinion. Do your own research and make your own decisions. I'm not you, right? Nobody else is you. I can tell you what I like. I can show you and display the stuff that I think is beneficial, right? I get to choose who I partner and affiliate with, and I'm very thankful to say that I could pretty much partner and affiliate with anybody under the sun. Any prop firm and software company, nearly everyone. I have emails from every single damn one asking me for paid promotion and videos and all this fun stuff. I partner and affiliate with companies, firms that I think are reliable, reputable, that I use myself, that I think might be good opportunities for you guys, right? For other traders, for the community. Does that mean that they are? Absolutely not. Everything that you're seeing here might be horrible for you. TradingView, top 1 futures, and book. This might be like the worst combination because you are a trader that uses, something, no consistency rule and I don't know, a million other reasons, right? So, take that into consideration. And, people that don't speak that way, I think either they're naive, they just don't have a good understanding, or they're getting themselves paid, right? They're doing what they got to do to get a paycheck. So I think being honest and transparent and I don't think anybody on here is stupid. I think everybody's smart. I think traders are smart. Consumers are smart. There's no pulling wool over anybody's eyes, right? In the trading space, sure there is for beginners and all that type of stuff, but I just think it's a stupid, disingenuous thing to do. It's not how I run my stuff. So anyway, I hope that helps. And again, always, even I'll finish with this as the long rant. Even everything that I just said, even being on the stream and everything that I just said, you should still grain of salt that because I'm partnered, I'm affiliated, I am paid. I cannot be unbiased. Same as nearly everyone else that you watch. Not all, right? There's some complete, zero biases. Maybe they also don't sell anything themselves either. But you just make your own decisions. Do your own research, right? Listen to people that you know and trust, right? Take information from them, but grain of salt it. You should do that with everything. That's the day and age that we live in. I don't know, bro. I could be AI right now. I don't know. I could be like Grok or some like Chat GPT version of me. You might not even know. Anyway, I hope that helps, man. I hope that helps. I try to approach this stuff with some honesty and transparency. If you can't see that from my trading, the way that I talk about myself, my own trading, I don't know, man. Hang out for longer and you'll see it. I don't claim to be the best. I don't claim to have it all figured out. No magic strategy. None of that shit, man. I'm just a regular idiot here showing you guys how I attempt to make a profit in the markets, right? And then let you decide for yourself whether or not I can or do, or that anything that I do here is helpful to you, right? Because it's all free 99. That's the play. That is the play. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna say this would be the trade if I had to put one on, which I didn't, and I do. This would be the trade for the day, right? My bad. I requested a payout late yesterday, which was kind of a dumb idea if I wanted to be able to trade this morning, which I did. That's on me. You request payout after hours with a prop firm and expect it to be paid out immediately and ready to trade. That's, it's sometimes on you as a trader. But I'm happy to actually get the forced time to do this because I don't know that I would take the time, genuinely. But I'm happy to not have that account to trade. Plus, I want to display it to you guys, right? If you guys want to check it out, link what we talk about, right? Partner and affiliate. If you guys want to check it out, link is going to be in the chat. Code RDF. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. Decide if it's a good opportunity. I think, my personal, humble, biased opinion, you were asking about Tradeify, asking about Apex, asking about other prop firms. I think Top 1 Futures is one of the best opportunities in the space, which is why I'm partnered and affiliated with them. And I yap about them, right? And I trade them myself. Do your own research. Put them side by side. Put them up against the competition. Look at the rules. Look at the pricing. Try to get as apples to apples as you possibly can. And make a decision for yourself on what makes the most sense for you. Right? That's what I would do. I think that's what any trader should be doing. I think the instant funded account, things like the 50K, the 150K, the price point, the rule set, how much you're able to withdraw if you make it to that buffer, right? That payout amount. End of day trailing drawdown, the standard consistency rule, the fastest path to live in the industry, the fastest path to the account that you guys see me trade almost every day here live with you outside of today, with daily withdrawals, no consistency, uncapped, unlimited payouts, no profit target, right? Pretty sweet, man. Pretty sweet. But you decide that for yourself, That's what you got to do. Nice rejection, man. I think this is going to be a banger. I think this is going to be a banger on the instant funded account, but that's cool, man. Got to get comfortable with it. I do genuinely want to watch this play out. I want to watch myself trade on it. I want to try to identify any risk factors, anything that I'm doing differently, because I've been doing well in the Top 1 Futures Live account. That was my 11th payout yesterday. All reasonable, quick payouts. I've been taking the max amount out. Somebody asked me yesterday, fairly small amounts, not building buffer and stuff like that. But I'm happy with my performance in there so far, generating a nice EV. And I'd like to continue to do that. And I'm definitely cautious about coming off of Project X and coming all the way over to TradingView, and Tradeovate. I think they're good platforms, obviously, right? Everybody knows the names for a reason. But me personally, right? How am I going to perform staring at a TradingView chart instead of a Project X chart, which is what I'm doing right here with you guys. I'm actually genuinely looking like, all right, how does this candle feel? What do these 15-minute candles look like as we, head to the downside? What does price look like? What am I going to notice different? That P&L, the way the P&L flashes, just very little subtle differences I think can, can make a big difference. So anyway, hope that helps. Yeah, man. Apex. Yeah, we talked about Apex. True. Appreciate your honesty, man. I know a trader that uses level 2 DOM only, glances at higher time frames, yet trades only from a DOM. Maddening. Yeah, that's wild. If you trade from like a traditional depth of market only, that's your tape reader, man. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Hopefully we're not AI over here. Yeah, read the whole frequently asked questions before you start. 100% agree. Yeah. It's your response. This is important. I'm glad we're having the Yap Fest, guys. It's your responsibility as a trader to understand not only the rules and regulations and requirements of the exchange and the instrument that you're trading, but of the prop firm. I can't tell you, and it's really like mind-boggling. I can't tell you how many traders buy prop firm accounts that don't read the rules, all of the frequently asked questions, like all of the rules, and then are mad when they broke a rule and don't get paid out or lose the account because they didn't even do the research to know what the rule was in the first place. Like, you stand no chance of making money trading if you don't understand the rules and regulations that are in place. You stand no chance of making money with a prop firm if you don't even know the rules you have to follow to get paid out. Now, you might say, hey, Zach, there's a lot of rules. Read them. Read them all, right? Read the prohibited practices. Read everything in between before you buy an account, so you can say, hey, I think this is a good opportunity. I think I could follow this. I understand it. You don't understand something, you don't get the full scope of it, ask their support. Reach out to their support. But you should be doing all that before you buy an account. I can't tell you, the Discords are always filled with people like asking questions about, like, bro, you need to know the answer to this, right? You're in the car, driving the car, asking where the brake is. You need to know where the brake is before you put the car in drive, okay? So that's the thought process. It blows my mind. It really blows my mind to see. So anyway, I hope you guys all read the rules and read the frequently asked questions. Read everything. Prop firms all kind of have the same structure. They have a homepage and they have the frequently asked questions. I don't know why they do it that way, but every big prop firm, almost every major one, has the same setup. Homepage, very basic information, prices, and then frequently asked questions with all the detailed rules that are very important that you need to know. Read them, boys and girls. Otherwise, you're asking for the L. You really are. So, good morning, Kobe Clark. What's up? Soft Father. Good morning. What's up? Up 200 on 6 accounts. Was focused on trades. So just come in. Nice. Appreciate you guys for being here. Yeah, if you hopped on late, again, this is a Trade of 8 account with Top 1 futures. As you can see, this is the platform Trade of 8. This is the platform Trading View. We are getting some test trades in as I get ready to transition, probably over in the next couple months. Hopefully, I don't just blow my live account in 2 seconds. There's a little bit of time. I don't know when they're going to transition, potentially someone like me, or what they're going to do with the live account guys. But I won't be on Project X if I have the account, or if I don't have the account, even if I lose the account, past February, the end of February. That's their end date for all prop firms. If you guys were not aware of that, Project X is pulling support for all third-party prop firms outside of Top Step, who it seems like owns it or has a controlling stake or manages it or just has the deal to have it exclusively. All good because actually, I like Project X. Just to talk about it real quick, I like Project X. I really like the user interface. Love the risk settings, like the copy trading, the trading view chart, the charting, all that stuff. I've defended it a lot in the past. One thing I will say, over the last few weeks, unacceptable amount of issues. Really unacceptable amount of issues. And it's eased the pain of knowing that I have to transition off of it, because a great user interface and risk settings and all these great things, they're not helpful if I blow my account because there's an outage and it goes black screen in the middle of me setting up a trade, right? Which has happened to way more times than I think it should happen. Every platform is going to have an issue. Trading View eventually, different data providers, they're all going to have issues. The frequency at which those issues happen is bonkers on Project X now. They obviously have issues. Maybe it honestly does have something to do with them needing to pull support from all these prop firms. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate further, but I will say after another fatal issue, right, like something that causes people to lose accounts, last week, I don't want to be on that platform anymore. I really don't. It's unfortunate because I like it, but not with those types of issues. Now, you hope the prop firms continue to do right by traders that are effective, and it seems like they have, right? They've given out accounts, resets, all that type of stuff. I've spoken now to a handful that have said they've gone on tilt. They've gone on tilt in other accounts. They've been pissed off. They've messed stuff up as soon as it comes back online. It's just a recipe for disaster. So, it happens. We will face issues. You'll face a tech issue at some point in your trading career if you trade for long enough, no matter who you trade with, where. But if every other week, at least it feels like every week, every other week, there's an issue, it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to continue to put yourself at risk. That's the hard decision that we have to make. So. What's up, guys? What's going on? Congrats on the 11 payouts on live. That's awesome. Yeah, appreciate it. Listen, it's not always green, right? You stay for long enough. I've had a nice run. There's ebbs and flows. Let's talk about it real quick. There's ebbs and flows in trading, guys. There's ebbs and flows in trading, at least for me and my personal trading. And the ebbs feel like they're never going to end, and the flows feel like they're never going to end. And they do. It all comes back to balance. But there's going to be times in the market, in trading, even after you start to make progress, even after you take payouts, multiple payouts, live account trading, you consider yourself a good profitable trader, all these things. There's going to be periods where a combination of these things come together to really, to really hurt you or help you, right? Where the market is just not agreeing with you and your system. There's been some shift, there's been some change, and you are taking an outsized number of losses. Maybe you personally are just not executing well. You are sucking for whatever reason. Off the charts, inside the charts, you are just not performing well. A combination of those two things, and you're going to take a lot of losses. You're going to have that negative variance. The opposite is true. The market's going to agree with you. You're just going to enter and price is going to immediately rip in your direction on every trade. You're executing well. Your system is suffering from a lot of nice positive variance, or it's benefiting from. There's ebbs and flows. Try to keep yourself down the middle during all of them is what I find best. Try to keep yourself level. Review. From the outside and internally, it can feel like you have no idea what you're doing. Nothing's working, right? I get it every single time because I trade live. Every single time I have a down couple of weeks or months or something that's just not going well, everyone and their mother reaches out, and it's usually in good spirits, reaches out, maybe you should be doing this differently. This isn't working. This doesn't look good. Nothing's working. You're not trading profitably. How could you ever be trading live and talking about trading when you've, lost money this month? That's the sign of, unfortunately, an inexperienced trader that hasn't been through that fire before. Because what happened to me and what happens to those people is, what do they do as soon as they start taking a couple L's? They strategy hop, they lose confidence, they start doing things way too drastically differently, not adjusting. They're trying to find a way to never have that happen. And maybe it won't happen for you. Maybe you are an extremely consistent trader. You just have an incredibly high win rate, and they're out there. There's some heavy hitters out there. But for the most part, for most traders, myself included, there's ebbs and flows, right? So, got a nice flow going. I've made some adjustments. I don't want to completely just give it out to chance, right? That's not the way that I believe it works. I've made some adjustments coming over to YM. I've made some adjustments to the market, to my trade management. Small things as I go, applying the same discretion and basic, fundamental approach that's worked really well. But also, along with that, there's also just the game of probabilities. And I think I would be disingenuous and lying to myself if I believed that I have now generated such a positive edge that I have near an 80% win rate with a positive risk to reward. It's not out there for me and for most others, right? So there's a little bit of that positive variance that plays in, which is good. capitalize on it, press it, take the wins, right? But keep yourself down the middle. Continue to review, continue to reflect. What could I do better? What does my trade management need to continue to look like in order to, present the best P&L? So, that's the thought. Just kind of commenting back and forth on it. It's not always going to be back-to-back-to-back payouts and live accounts, right? It's go in prop firm trading. Traditionally, if you're putting on risk where you're going to make any kind of meaningful income, you're going to lose accounts. You're going to have those down periods. In a live account, you're going to have that period where you trade for 2 weeks in a row and it's loss, 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 win, loss, loss, loss. And you go, oh my God, did I forget how to trade? What is happening? Like, I'm doing everything I know I should be doing. And it's that, random probabilities, that random distribution of wins and losses, right? That's going to come for you at a certain point. Or a combination of, some execution errors, right? Some flaws. Keep yourself down the middle, man. That's why trading is so hard. It's why it's really so difficult. Keeping yourself level. So that's my thoughts. Do you know when, if Top 1 Futures will kick us over to Trade of 8 Ninja? Yeah. So here's the tentative, idea here, guys. There's no given transition plan, but here's a tentative idea. We know for all firms, including Top 1 Futures, which they've shared, that they are losing support for Project X. Everybody will be off of Project X by February 28th. What I anticipate, which is not official, but you can pretty much infer this stuff. In the next couple weeks, all of these firms are going to stop selling Project X accounts. Some have already. Top 1 Futures will, right? Because support's going to end in February. Once we get to February, there won't be many, as terrible as this is to say, it's the truth. Not many traders will hold on to accounts for more than a week or two, or let alone, multiple months. There won't be many. Of the guys that are left on Project X accounts, maybe I'm one of them, maybe you're one of them, you're either going to be forced over to Trade of 8, which I think is going to happen. It's going to be a forced transition. You'll be able to get kicked over earlier, right? They're going to give you an option. Or they're going to let you keep trading on Project X, but I'm 99.9% sure that that's not going to be the case. So you're going to be kicked over. That's simple. Rhythmic used to do that all the time. Yeah, Rhythmic had issues, for sure. I heard a lot of people complain about Rhythmic. Can you explain why you take this trade? Sure. Could have just been shady props. Shrug. My worst days are Mondays. And yeah, I hear that. Yeah, that's me. 3 losses in a row. Mondays jumped the gun. Payouts make me feel invincible, but I'm not. Yep. Traveling to miss both yesterday and today, but congrats to everyone who's taken last couple. Yeah. What's going on, guys? Yeah, that's the tough part. It's the tough part. Again, guys, if you hopped on late, this is in the test accounts that I'm messing with on Trade of 8 and TradingView. I'm going to try to get the names correct. Short play, right? Why did I take a short? Somebody asked, why would I look for a short in this level? A retest of volume point of control after some bearish price action yesterday coming to the downside. I could see one of two things happening. We come up here, test this level and reject, come down through VWAP and continue the downside, which we started to do. This looked beautiful when I was $800 in profit all the way down here. Now we are finding buyers. I really don't like the way the structure is formed, but something that I've challenged myself to do and played out really nicely yesterday is to hold on to my trades. If we are going to reject up here, now is our chance to do it. It certainly does not look like we want to. Yeah, this looks like we want to take off to the upside really, really aggressively. We could close this one out for a break even. Again, I hate to say it, but we're on an account that I'm not going to be able to take a payout from either way. So we don't have to. But yeah, trade management wise, man, my discretion on this one would really have to be to clip this. If we came back down through the low, there would be an opportunity to short it from really deep, but I'm going to leave this one on. Leave this one on for the time being. Take a stop if we have to. See if it can't come back down. But yeah, short play. Most of the stuff that I trade, guys, off the open is going to be a mean reversion style play. I tried to flow with the higher time frame trend with the bias that I'm forming for the session right as we're opening up, not really coming into the open. I felt as we started to open up, and this was looking really good a couple of minutes ago, that we might be retracing, right? Pulling back up to this area of high volume, retesting some volume points of control, and then start to come to the downside, which we just were, flip this bad boy bearish, and where do we go to the downside? All the way down here, generating a really, really, really nice W, right? Area of high volume, price action, market structure, key level to area of high volume, price action, market structure, key level. That's how I trade. The two general trades that you'll see me take, if I had to classify them, which I don't really like to because they're all discretionary, it's really either going to be a mean reversion trade where I am entering aggressively against the area that price is tapping into, the way that I did on this trade with a short, right? Price is pushing up. We're above VWAP. We're forming some bullish, price action. I'm counter to this on the low time frame, right? I'm shorting for a move to the downside. That would be, kind of the reversal, mean reversion style, however you want to label that. The other one is going to be continuation, right? Where maybe I'm not short here, and as we're selling off really aggressively down through the lows, it's closer to that breakout style continuation with the trend style trade, right? Shooting for an extension, maybe pushing that, prior day low lower before I even consider taking profit, that type of stuff. So that's the thought process. But overall, the pattern that I attempt to exploit here on YM is it loves to move to and from key areas of interest, right? Areas of interest that I identify by volume profiles, price action, market structure, maybe a little bit of order flow, but not too much these days. They give me a way to structure risk. I also try to leverage just the most basic sense of trend, right? Are we pushing to the upside? Are we pushing to the downside across multiple time frames? Top-down analysis. I try to position myself in a way that provides a good risk structure where I have a clean invalidation level if I'm wrong, and a nice area that I think price can hit if I'm right? On this trade, I have that. I have a key level being tested. We've obviously found sellers here. Now, doesn't look like it's going to play in my direction right now, but we did put up a fight here, right? There where this did come into play as a really nice key level. We traded almost 200 points to the downside after tapping into it. But looks like we're finding buyers off of VWAP today. We might want to make this into a nice bullish day, right? Got a key level up here. If we trade through this area, 200 points higher, I'm dead wrong, right? We're forming a nice big bullish daily candle. It looks like we want to come right through these highs. This is going to be a pullback before we push higher, right? That's what this one would look like, right? It's not going to be a pullback up into this price action or retracement before a continuation to the downside. That's the thought process behind this trade. Hope that helps. Chat. While we're hanging out with this one, guys, I'll be right back. I will be right back. Apologies for the silence if you missed this one also. I don't have any background music playing today because I'm trying not to get in any more trouble with YouTube. Anyway, be right back, guys. See you guys in a minute. All right, back in action with you guys. Back in action, man. Watching this trade play out. Again, if you guys got questions, Tradeovate, TradingView, Top 1 Futures, prop firms in general, trading in general, whatever. I'm happy to talk about it. I try not to answer questions that I think are really easily findable if you just Googled or went to the site yourself, or overly personal random stuff, or just overly personal stuff in general. But if you guys got questions, feel free. Happy to talk with you as we're watching this one play out. That's pretty much what I wanted to do today. Test this out, play with a couple different things. We can play with trade management, automated trade management on Tradeovate if you want to. But this was my goal for today. Again, live accounts paused pending a payout. It's on me. I requested it hella late. But yeah, got to get comfortable, man. So dedicating some time to do this, I think, is important. If you're transitioning from one platform to another and you have consistency on one platform, I would exercise caution as you transition. Get comfortable, make the fat finger mistakes on on an account that you don't care about. Get comfortable with the order card, with placing orders, what everything feels like, all that type of stuff. Learn here, like we'll do it again. Learn here that, if I just mark it in short with another, order here, with another contract, this isn't going to increase, right? I have to physically add a stop loss, right? And take profit where I want that to be, right? Which is maybe right here, right at the exact same level. What is it? 746? 746, right? Which I can limit in for you guys. Let's do it. All right.
Order filled.
There we go. Now we're short 2, and I have 2 overlaying buy stops, right? Now I have a stop loss there, where if I just market it in, I wouldn't have that, right? I wouldn't have that. So important to note that stuff. Let's see. Yeah. Never use volume. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks, Zach, for your time. Always appreciate it. I got stuff to do. I'm up well trading NQ. Nice. Use micros if you all trade it. Yeah. Micros on the really aggressive stuff could be important. So yeah, guys, this was kind of my game plan. For today. Questions, concerns, thoughts, feel free. As we're hanging out, trading live with the guys, testing some Tradeovate, testing some Trading View. Let's see, did that copy over here? Yeah, it should. This was me before I hopped on, taking a bunch of fun stuff. Nice. Anyway, guys, if you want to, since we're on here talking about it, I'll plug it again. If you want to check out Top 1 Futures, link is in the chat. Code RDF gets you the best deal, as you can see by the logo. Look at that. Trading View. And we got prices. This is for the instant funded account. This is the OG instant funded accounts. Pretty sweet deal, in my humble opinion. I think these are going to run until Friday. Today's Tuesday. But this is their Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal. Still active, still rolling. You want to get your hands on it. I would not sleep. Links in the chat. Code RDF. Remember, I'm partnered. I'm affiliated. Stand to make money, so I can't be unbiased. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. They also still have the Ignite instant funded accounts, the straight to sim funded pro accounts, the ones that are cheaper than these. If you want a really inexpensive way into an instant funded account with no eval, no activation fee, no time limit, feel free to check it out, man. Feel free to check it out. I'm green on both evaluation counts. Nice. Does the built-in copier work if you trade Tradeovate over TradingView? I think so, Sir Lunchalot, but I will have to confirm. I think so. I believe so, because it's going to be entering an order right on the platform that should be copied right over to whatever other accounts that you're using. But I will confirm that. There is a built-in trade copier in Tradeovate, which is pretty sweet. There's also some risk tools and stuff like that. But I do like the idea of a built-in trade copier on something like this. It's in here where you can manage groups. and then you can group stuff together. Right? It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Kind of similar to Project X, where it's it's a group together copy trading deal. I'm not doing a whole bunch of copy trading myself these days, trading a live account, but yeah, I'd have to assume so, but I'd find it out. I'll find it out for you. I have to assume if you're trading on the leader account, which you'd have to make sure that you're doing right in Tradeovate, like down here on Project X, you'd have to make sure that you're on the right account, right? Like not on like the wrong account over here. Want to make sure that you are on the correct account, but as long as you're on the leader account, I got to assume that would make sense. Got to assume that would make sense. What's the leverage on instant funded accounts? Depends on the account size, right? Depends on the account size. On the 150K, I believe you're able to still trade. Is it 12? Yeah, you can trade 12 minis. You can trade 12 minis on the 150K. You can trade 4 minis on the 50K, 8 minis on the 100, or 1 mini on the 25K. Different max loss limits, daily loss limits, but all that stuff is in that link. All that stuff is in that link. All that fun stuff is in the link. You know what? Let's test it. Let's test it live. It's a good question. Somebody in chat asked, if you use the built-in copy trader on Tradeovate, can you trade on TradingView from the leader account and have it copied across all of them? So I will have to get out of this order get out of this position for a loss, which if I was trading, this would be my trade for the day. It would just be the one mini. I wouldn't be in with two. Probably running this thing short, so you can see how this one would have played out. But I'm going to get out of this. I'll group these together. I'll create a new group, and then for me, it doesn't work. Let's test it.
Order filled.
We're out on everything. So here's the deal. We are trading. Which account are we on? The 206, right? Let's come back over here. Let's go to manage groups. Let's create a new group. Call it main group, or just main. And let's put the groups in here, right? The 206, 207. Okay. Now. Oh, it gives you a different thing in here. So this would just be the first account. This would be the second account. These are 250K instant funded accounts. Again, don't freak out. Have a live account. I'm not taking payouts from any of these. It's for the purposes of what I'm doing right now. Let's see. I think. Whoa, I don't want to do that. I think this might work. Hang on 1 second. Will it give me an option to trade that? Let's see. Let's go. Let's get short again because we're stupid and we fade pops to the upside. If I enter, I don't know that this will work. I don't know how to trade on the main group account.
Order filled.
No, it's just on the it filled me short too, just on the main account. I'm gonna have to figure this out for you guys. Good question, because this is how I would be trading on both of them, right? Here, let's
order filled.
Let's try not to blow any accounts. If I hopped over here to the main group, main. This should Oh, there we go. Can I do it from the DOM? Let me not introduce a new question. Sell market 2.
Order filled.
So I am filled now. 2 short, 1 on each account. Yes. Yeah. This is a good question, chat. This is a good question.
Order filled.
This is a very good question. I'll have to figure this out. I'll have to figure this out for you. Because I don't know how I would be able to add both of these. Don't know how I would be able to add both of these. I'll figure it out. Hop in the Discord. I'll give you guys an answer on how you can copy trade through Tradeovate using TradingView if it's possible. If it is possible. If it doesn't work, it's actually pretty slick the way they do that. Yeah. Viva YM. Oh yeah, big YM fans over here. Guys, we got through most of what I wanted to check out today. If you guys want to check this out, link is in the chat. If you want to hop in the free Discord, I will have you hop in the free Discord right here. We answered a bunch of questions. We messed around with Tradeovate and TradingView. Let me go ahead and throw this in the main chats. Boom. There we go, guys. There we go. I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. Wrap it up. We'll see if this market continues to push. I'm not really looking at too much in the live account because it's still paused for me. I haven't checked it. Maybe it's unpaused. I'll call out whatever I'm looking at in Discord the way that I try to always do. Certainly for that live account if I'm trading the live account. Sim accounts, we're being aggressive on the side. Anyway, guys, hope you found this helpful. Quick disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is suggestion or recommendation to do anything at all. Do your own research, make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even if funded prop from accounts. And the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Appreciate you guys being here. I will see you in Discord. I'll see you on socials. I will see you here tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern.